Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Humble Minute, where we share information that we care about and we think you should too. My name is David Graves, and today we are going to be breaking down the Doctor Strange trailer. We're a little under a couple months away, I want to say, until the movie comes out, and I want to make sure I cover everything and get you guys enlightened on it. I'm going to cover everything I find important, and I hope you do too. So let's get started.
Every night, I dream the same dream. And then... the nightmare begins.
All right, so if you guys have been paying attention, we got our first look at Defender Strange. Defender Strange is a Doctor Strange variant that belongs to a group of superheroes called the Defenders, a group of heroes that tend to be informal and are usually prone to their own agenda. In the comics, Defender Strange doesn't have any powers that are different from the usual Doctor Strange. So we get a lot of visuals of him in this trailer. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see him for very long in this movie. I feel like he's going to get killed off pretty quick, but he's not too different. The Defenders, we kind of saw them in Netflix. Nothing too crazy, just a little hint and wink at something that a lot of people really enjoy, and that's Defender Strange. And up next, guys, we have the Living Bands of Sidorak. That's a rumor that a lot of people think the person that's holding America Chavez is. The Living Bands of Sidorak are both a god and a demon. He was once worshipped on Earth. He's most known for sending his gem down to Earth, and one person who's gotten a hold of that was Juggernaut, and Colossus got a hold of it at one point in time, and that was crazy. That was during the Avengers vs. X-Men run. Amazing book. You guys should check it out. I think this is a strong contender only because I feel like a lot of demons and gods and entities are going after America Chavez to try and get her portals and try and get into other universes to mess things up or to rule that universe and get more powerful. Why wouldn't they want to do that? It's a great question, but I honestly think that is one of the strongest contenders. Another thing is Lord Chaos and the Master Order. They're more of a cosmos and universal being. I do not think this is important. I don't think this is in the movie at all, but I thought I should throw it in here. If anything, they're just two big heads that are sitting in the universe and they argue back and forth, kind of light and dark, two heads of one coin type situation. But I just wanted to throw that in there for you guys and see if that might be a contender. We'll see. I think 1%. I do not think it'll be in there. And next up, we have Nightmare, one of the biggest rumors we've gotten from last year with WandaVision coming out. We knew a little bit about the rumors, but it was between him and Chthon, but a little bit about Nightmare. He's pretty much a lower demon. He just exists in another realm, and he likes to create chaos. We could dive deep into it, but there's no need to dive deep into it because a lot of his origins, I feel like, will not tap into the MCU. I feel like they'll be making it its own thing. As well as Chthon, I feel like they might combine both of those beings and make it another demon in its own thing in general. But with Chthon, billions of years ago, shortly after the formation of Earth, the Demiurge, the sentient life force of Earth's biosphere, seeded the young planet with its essence, creating a race of elder gods. This has to deal with Chthon. That also has to deal with the Darkhold. He was in control of the Darkhold. Now with Wanda having that might be an issue. A lot of people think he might be controlling her, and then that's what springs this whole thing off, especially from WandaVision, and she's the one who's giving Doctor Strange the visions because she wants Doctor Strange to lead her to America Chavez to try and find her kids, which has been a big storyline that's been going forth ever since WandaVision. So we'll see, but that's a little bit about those two. You can feel free to read up on them, but I don't think this will be a big thing in the MCU. I feel like they're going to combine both those characters and make it its own thing. And one last thing, guys, I just wanted to throw my theory out there. I really think that all these demons are hunting America Chavez for her portals. We'll be diving deeper into America Chavez coming up later in this trailer, but I want to say that they're going to be going to different universes to try and control them, rule them, get more powerful, wreak havoc, do whatever, because maybe they think that there's lesser beings on those other universes, but I don't know, but we'll see. But I just wanted to throw that out there and give you guys a little taste of what I think the movie's going to be about. It's going to be about protecting and holding America Chavez in safety from these beings so that way nothing can happen any further.
I did what I had to do to protect protect our world.
You cannot control everything, Strange. You opened the doorway between universes, and we don't know who or what will walk through it.
Wanda, what do you know about the multiverse?
Viz had his theories. He believed it was dangerous.
He was right. I'm sorry, Stephen.
And next up, what I think is the most important plot point of the movie is America Chavez. If you ask me, I think this whole movie will be revolving around her and Doctor Strange protecting her. Like I said previously, there's a lot of her backstory. Feel free to go out there and read it. Amazing character. Definitely something new for Marvel to be doing, expanding their whole universe around race, sexuality, etc. But that being said, a little bit of information on her. At age 5, she was diagnosed with Edge's syndrome, which discovered genetic disease linked to the XX chromosome. Of course, what do you do when that happens in comics? You go to a billionaire to try and cure you. So her parents, which was Elena and Amelia Chavez, they went to this island owned by a guy named Mr. Gales. At this point in time, Mr. Gales had a whole bunch of girls on that island with different diseases, or I believe the same disease as America, and her little sister had the same disease. So they went there. There was a vault. In the vault was this pocket reality, which was very interesting, and that way it remits their disease and they can live their life for months at a time so they can experiment on her. Of course, with experimentation, America developed powers such as being able to open up portals, but she's also very strong, being able to punch things. Think of her as Captain Marvel, but able to open up portals to different universes and go through it. So that was very interesting. But with all these stories, there's catastrophe. So of course, Mr. Gales is crazy, trying to exploit the girls. One of her moms decides to blow up the portals on the island, and then America decides to kick her in a portal and try and take her sister and leave. Mr. Gale shoots her other mom and then kidnaps her little sister. She eventually gets to New York, and of course during that time she gets adopted, but she remisses a lot of the memories she has. So with that being said, she thinks that she's from a different reality where it's a whole made up world, like where that pocket reality was in that safe. And then eventually her sister comes to find her and tries to tell her that no, there was actually more to it. So eventually the memory comes back to her. I believe the story is still ongoing. So feel free to go out there and go to Marvel Comics and read the comic book. I can guarantee if there's a #1 out there, you should probably buy it eventually. It might be worth something. But that's a little bit of America Chavez and what I think she's going to mean to this movie. I don't think this is the last we'll see of her. Of course, the Young Avengers are coming. We've seen all the little hints that are happening and little Easter eggs and breadcrumbs that are coming. But that's her. She's very interesting. I'm going to be reading up on her more and definitely getting that Marvel Legends figure. And another thing that I wanted to bring up, guys, because I'm going to be putting my own plot points and theories in here. Of course, I think Wanda is going to be slipping into more of the evil aspect into this movie, and she definitely will be a villain, probably, if not the villain. Her using the Darkhold is making her slip more into madness, I believe. We've seen her fingers look more black, just like Agatha when we were watching WandaVision. So I think that's going to be happening a lot more as the movie goes throughout, and her using dark magic. She's going to be losing her mind, which has to do with a lot of what happens in the comics anyway with the House of M. But another little Easter egg and hint, I don't think this guy will be a big part of it, but the Minotaur we see in the trailer, his name is Rintra. He was a disciple underneath Doctor Strange, so Doctor Strange trained him. I just think this is a little funny wink and smile. Of course, who knows what Marvel, but I really think Kevin Feige is opening up his toy bin and literally just dumping it on the ground and giving us everything we want at this point in time. Seeing how successful the MCU is, he can kind of do what he wants. But next, we see Baron Mordo. We have not seen him since Doctor Strange 1 and him going off and literally just taking everyone's magical power that he thinks they are misusing it for. I do not think this is the MCU Baron Mordo, our main world MCU Baron Mordo. I think this is a variant. And of course, I think throughout all of the universes, Baron Mordo will always have a disdain for Doctor Strange, regardless of what happens. But I think he is the Sorcerer Supreme of another universe, and he's coming to come get Doctor Strange. And we'll dive deeper into that later and why I think he's a big part of the movie, too.
Your desecration of reality will not go unpunished.
We should tell him the truth.
All right, this is the meat and potatoes of the trailer. So, what we see right off rip, we see the Ultron bots that, of course, kind of tie back to Age of Ultron, where we see the bots flying around and trying to help out and keep everyone back. That was Iron Man's initiative to putting armor around the world, quote, end quote. But this one, I think, has to tie back into Superior Iron Man. This has been flying around that Tom Cruise would be Superior Iron Man, especially since he tried to audition to play Iron Man before. We'll see. I have no idea. This movie's all over the place. But Superior Iron Man, just a little bit of a backstory of him. This comes with a comic where pretty much the villains and the heroes switch, and Iron Man is more sinister. He's more evil. He's more calculating. He pretty much thinks he's a god amongst men. So that ties into the Extremis armor, and that ties into a symbiote pretty much armor. So it kind of comes onto his body like a liquid gel. But it's very interesting, and that is a very cool Iron Man. They think he might also have some of the Infinity Stones, but we don't know how that would work because in Loki, we realize that if the Infinity Stones are from one universe, they don't work the same in another universe, but this could be its own pocket universe where we see the Illuminati at. But with that being said, the next thing is the Illuminati. We will be doing a humble minute truly going forward as we get to the weeks closer to the Multiverse of Madness trailer. Right now, I think on the Illuminati, we have Black Panther, either T'Challa's dad, a younger version of him, or we have Killmonger, or we will have his son. So maybe that'll be a different universe Black Panther, and somehow that'll tie into us. We have Professor X, of course, because we've heard him. We think Black Bolt also, because we understand that Vin Diesel was cast as Black Bolt, or tried to get cast as Black Bolt at one point in time in a movie. Of course, Baron Mordo, which we see in the trailer. Mr. Fantastic is a strong contender. Either we'll get the Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four movies that happened in the 2000, or we'll get the John Krasinski Mr. Fantastic. I have no idea. Kind of crazy. And then we have Captain Carter. I think that is my final Illuminati roundup as far as I think that people that are on the board. We'll definitely dive deeper into it as the movie comes out. Who knows? And with that being said, guys, there's a couple more. Of course, we see this Jurassic universe that we fly through. That's also a deep cut into Marvel. I cannot remember the name of this place. It might be like the Forgotten World or something like that, but they traveled back into there, and some of the Marvel comic books, extra deep cut. Like I said, Kevin Feige's just letting them do whatever and throw whatever in there. No holds barred this time around. We have a cartoon version that we think we might be jumping into after we see that. I don't know what that could mean. We could be going back in time to like an old, like Looney Tune-esque type version of, I don't even know, like of a cartoon world because Disney. And then, of course, we also have the No More Mutants cover relation. When we see America Chavez and Doctor Strange coming through and then their faces splitting up, that's kind of the House of M cover where Wanda says no more mutants. So there's a little wink and elbow poke at us for that. So a lot of deep cuts going forward, but let's keep pushing.
Things just got out of hand.
You break the rules. Look out! Become a hero. I do it, I become the enemy. It doesn't seem fair.
All right, and to wrap the rest of this trailer up, guys, man, this is our first humble minute, and this was a long one. But I think once we see that other version of Doctor Strange, I do not believe that's Supreme Strange from What If. I believe that is Sinister Strange. That will be a whole different Doctor Strange who's completely evil and maybe has just messed up his reality also, similar to the What If episode, and he needs his help, or he has found a different reality where it's getting rid of that Doctor Strange. I don't think he'll be in the movie long either. I think he'll just be telling Doctor Strange what he did wrong and where he's at now. Also, the image of this person in silver armor and the orange around it, a lot of people think it's Superior Iron Man. A lot of people think that it is Kang in his Iron Lad armor, because he does have a variant of that too. As we know, there's whole different versions of Kang and different names. He Who Shall Remain, Kang the Conqueror. There's Iron Lad, but he is the son of Reed Richards, or not son. He's the great grandchild of Reed Richards. To sum that up. But I will tell you guys right now, I believe that is a Captain Marvel variant. It's either Monica Rambeau, which is Photon, or it's Maria Rambeau, which is her mom. So I think that's what we're seeing, and I think she might either be a part of the Guard in the Illuminati or wherever they're at, or she's on the Council. And I think she's controlling the Ultron bots, and maybe she got the armor from Superior Iron Man. Maybe we'll see him in there. I just think there's going to be different people coming throughout this whole Illuminati seat exchange, or they're just in that, whatever they're in, that base, the Illuminati base. So we'll see. Of course, when we see the zombie Defender Strange, which I believe that is still Defender Strange, a lot of people think that that's going back into the What If episode with Marvel Zombies. I don't think that's the case either. I think all of that evil or the dark magic that Defender Strange uses, because I think he uses all different type of magic to do whatever he needs to do, I believe that's what's taking over his body. Now, a lot of people think it has to deal with the demiurge, or another thing called Mr. Misery, which is the chaos energy that Doctor Strange locks in his basement in the Sanctum Sanctorum. It comes out and it creates his own evil identity. Could be that. Don't really know, but I do know that's Defender Strange, and I wanted to bring that up to you guys. America Chavez also had some No Way Home concept art. She appears in the movie at some point in time, but they officially said that they didn't want to put that in the movie, so they took it out. That could also have some ties into this, who knows. I also think in the Illuminati base they have captured, along with America Chavez, Billy and Tommy. I think the Illuminati, when Doctor Strange meets Professor X and Professor X says we should tell him the truth, I think they control each Wanda in different universes to keep her at bay, because she is a supreme being, she's a Nexus being, and she's an Omega level mutant. For those of you guys who don't know what that means, it pretty much means she is a constant in every universe, and she is one of the most powerful mutants that you cannot control. So I think that is one of the most pivotal parts in the movie, that's what the Illuminati is in charge of, keeping control of people who can get out of control quickly. And I think that's what they have in there. Marvel's known for doctoring trailers. We only see America Chavez in the eyes of Wanda, but I think it's deeper than that. I think they have the kids in the other one, but they just doctored it out so we didn't see it. Now, another thing that we saw, it sucks, but they have to change this guy to Gargantos. He's actually Shu Magorath, which is another universal being. He's in magic and everything else like that too. If you've ever played Marvel vs. Capcom, he is in that. He's a Doctor Strange villain, but I think the rights go to Robert E. Howard. I believe he owns the rights to that with Marvel. The rights are a lot of different places, so they can't use certain characters, which sucks. But he's still in the movie, which is really cool. I thought we would never see Shu Magorath on the screen. He's a very interesting character. They don't talk about him a lot. Very, very like H-list evil villain, which is pretty funny, but I like that they had him in there. But it's pretty cool. And that's your Humble Minute. Follow us on YouTube and on any podcast platform of your choice at the Humble Threads Podcast. And you can also find us on Instagram and Twitter. We have new podcast episodes coming out every other Friday. We have one coming out this week, the first week of March. Guys, if you enjoyed this, please give us a thumbs up. Hit that bell to let us know you care about us and you also want to see more of this stuff and to get notified when we drop new videos. Also, put some comments down below if I've missed anything, if you enjoyed this, is anything we need to improve on. This is our very first Humble Minute. I love comics and I love talking to comics about you guys, and we like talking about stuff that we care about and we think you should too. All right, guys, stay humble.